Now, the volatility in AMC stock has definitely picked up recently, and that's for a couple different reasons. We've got earnings coming out next week on May 9th, and we've also got the Federal Reserve interest rate decision being announced tomorrow. So I do want to discuss a couple different topics as far as, how AMC and the overall stock market could and possibly will react to the interest rate decision tomorrow. And I also want to talk about what we can expect for the earnings report, because when it comes to AMC, we've always had some very good earnings reports, but not necessarily good reactions. So we're going to be discussing it in this video, and if it sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay. I'm here to make 2022 the best year ever. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Join us. Become a bro. We are here every single day, and we are growing our portfolios together. Look, if you're brand new to investing, you don't know how or where to buy stocks and crypto, you got a link in the description below for Webull. It is super simple to set up your account. Any deposit, 5 free stocks. Any $1 crypto trade, $5 free crypto. And then, of course, you get crypto exclusive exchanges down there as well. But guys, I know, there hasn't been as much AMC content lately. The morale in the community might seem like it's being pulled down a little bit, but the price of AMC is trading in line with the price of the overall market right now. And it just so happens that it has been an absolute bloodbath for the last 6+ months. AMC down, the price of the NASDAQ down, the SPY is down. Literally any stock you look at is down big. And I understand if you dwell like day in and day out on the price, and if there's no real action going on under or behind the scenes and things like that, it does get difficult to only dwell on the negative. So, the amount of content has been a little less because I feel like we need to look at the optimistic side of things. And it just, instead of watching the price go down and down and down, let's look at some reasons why it could be going up and why we may expect a turnaround. So let's first start with the Federal Reserve announcement that is going to be happening tomorrow and what that looks like for AMC stock and the overall market. So we know that tomorrow at 2, the Fed is going to announce their interest rate decision, and then 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then a half hour later, they will be having their FOMC press conference. Now, anytime recently that Jerome Powell has opened his mouth, it has been devastating to the stock market. Everything. AMC is not exclusive in the fact that it's been going down. Everything has been moving down, especially right after Jerome opens his mouth there. So looking at that, do we expect some negativity tomorrow? Actually, I would say I expect some positivity. Tomorrow may be a turnaround day, and I want to talk about why. I truly believe that the overall market has already priced in, and AMC included, already priced in an interest rate hike of 50 basis points or 0.5%. I feel like it's already priced in, and market analysts agree. You guys can go out there and read your articles on it, but they agree that the market is priced in aggressive Fed action. So if that's what we get, if tomorrow we get a 50 basis point increase in interest rates, and Jerome Powell comes on and says that the Fed is acting aggressively to wrangle in inflation, perfect, man. That market's expectations are met. At the least, I would expect the market to trade sideways, not go down. At best, I would expect investors to be happy that their expectations are being met, and AMC moves higher, the market moves higher, and investors show a little bit of excitement and just enjoyment and appreciation for having expectations met. If the Fed comes in and they raise interest rates by 25 basis points, that would signal a couple of different things. That's a better than expected move in terms of overall inflation and interest rates. Why? The Fed moving interest rates by 25 basis points is basically saying that inflation is not so far out of control that they don't need to be aggressive at this point. If that's the case, we should see in a logical world, right? Now we know that investors are not logical. They're emotional. In a logical world, we would expect good news to move prices higher. So if that's the case, I would expect AMC to go up. I would expect, the overall market to go up as well. Now, a third case scenario, during this press conference, what I would love to hear, and this is based on analyst expectations as well. If you go out to next week, you can see that CPI, or that consumer price index, is expected to come in around 8.4% on an annualized basis. The previous month was 8.5%. If we start to see inflation dropping back down, this could signal peak inflation. If Jerome Powell, hints at all towards peak inflation having already been met, and now we're on our way back down, that should absolutely, in a logical world, remember, coincide with some sort of a market bottom. Investors could allow themselves to, step back in to riskier assets. As inflation starts to fall back down, as interest rates do not have to be increased at the same pace that they expected to increase them because the peak has been met, we would expect that to be very good news. And AMC should, right? I gotta say should, because the market has been wild lately, should react positively to that. Now, that's the inflation. That's what's causing a lot of volatility in the overall market and AMC stock. Let's talk about this earnings call that's coming up, because we got some good, we got some potentially, just brace yourself for it. AMC Entertainment has beat earnings expectations and revenue expectations for the last three quarters. Quarter one of 2021 beat earnings expectations, but I believe revenue expectations were off by about 5%, or revenue had fallen by, it was something along those lines. It was a very short miss in quarter one. So we've had nothing but great earnings release after great earnings release. I expect another great earnings release. I expect Adam Aron to be optimistic about the upcoming blockbuster releases in AMC's second quarter here going into summer. Typically that is one of the best times to go view movies, some of the best releases coming out, and a big revenue maker for theater companies. So I would expect Adam Aron to be very optimistic during AMC Entertainment's earnings call. Now, I do want to touch on a couple things from the previous earnings call and the previous earnings report. In the previous earnings report, Adam Aron made clear that AMC is not out of the woods yet when it comes to their, liquidity and their debt obligations. If they do not drastically increase their revenue, they could be looking at some shortcomings by the end of the year. And by drastically increase, I'm talking about 2xing over the next year. So we really need to double down on our revenue if we don't want to have any liquidity issues. Now, Adam Aron also made mention during the call that he had fulfilled his obligation to investors, that they would not be calling for additional liquidity and an additional capital raise throughout 2021. Well, he kind of, laid the groundwork during the first earnings call, talking about Q4 of 2021 there, saying that they maintained their obligation. I don't know if he set himself free, and I hope not. I don't know if we will, but I hope not to see any mention of any sort of dilution or capital raise moving forward in this earnings call. I do want to brace you that it is a possibility because of the previous earnings report and because of the, that being mentioned in the previous earnings call there. But overall, when you're talking numbers for AMC Entertainment, I expect great news and I expect growth. And that is exactly what you want to see in an earnings call. So guys, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below about what your expectations are for AMC Entertainment moving forward, and if you're still in this for the long run and you're still holding your shares and unwilling to sell those shares back to the hedge funds. Let us know in the comments below. If this button right here is still red, make sure to click it, subscribe to the channel, join us, become a bro. We are here every single day and we are growing our portfolios together. ClayBro883 on Twitter and Instagram. We will bind at SheminiCrypto.com. Until the next time, hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.